Hi there, everyone. How are you doing? Today, I want to talk about breadcrumbing in relationships. I've covered topics like challenging personalities, ghosting, and red flags, but breadcrumbing is something I came across recently. Are you familiar with this term? I wasn't. I think of breadcrumbs. When people make pies or think of the story Hansel and Gretel using breadcrumbs to find their way home, or I think of feeding the birds. But that's actually not what I'm talking about today. What I'm referring to is breadcrumbing in relationships. Someone who breadcrumbs leads you on by dropping small morsels of interest, an occasional message, phone call, date plan, or social media interaction. These happen sporadically and usually don't have any follow-through, according to healthline.com. Breadcrumbing can happen in romantic relationships, families, and even friendships. So, I wanted to give you a few examples of breadcrumbing situations, and you can decide if you feel like you've been breadcrumbed or if you're a breadcrumber yourself. There's a lot of breadcrumbing and breadcrumber words today. I have definitely been breadcrumbed, and I may have also been a breadcrumber a time or two. I'll admit it. I'll provide 4 instances of experiencing breadcrumbing from another person. Number 1, they frequently make plans with you and cancel at the last minute, offering an excuse or no explanation whatsoever, and continue to keep you interested by making more plans and again, no follow-through. Number 2, they disappear for weeks or months without contacting you, only to resurface when it's convenient for them and act as if nothing has happened, expecting you to pick up where you left off. Number 3, they rarely invest time in your relationship unless they want to brag about themselves or others or need a favor, and rarely show interest in your life or offer support when you need it. Number 4, they alternate between being friendly and distant, leaving you unsure about your relationship status, which can be emotionally draining. Psychology Today says that breadcrumbing may cause a greater sense of helplessness than ghosting. Compared to ghosting, when the relationship suddenly and completely ends, breadcrumbing lures the recipient into a long, extended, and continuous situation of being on standby, living with unpredictability and uncertainty while waiting for the breadcrumber to make a commitment. So if you detect that someone in your life is breadcrumbing you, consider it as a potential warning sign or a red flag. If it's continuous, consider what you want from the relationship and whether it aligns with your values and expectations for communication and commitment. Assess whether the relationship is worth saving, and for your own wellness, it might be better to keep your distance. If you're constantly ruminating about it, you might want to try journaling to help sort out your thoughts and feelings about the situation. To gain clarity and self-awareness, if you suspect you're being breadcrumbed, here are some questions you may want to consider answering for yourself in your journal. Why do you feel like you're being breadcrumbed? Are you feeling manipulated, rejected, or just plain lonely? Is your chest tight? Does your stomach ache? Can you describe what you're experiencing in your body? Do you find yourself questioning your self-worth or feel inadequate? Are you genuinely happy in this relationship, or is it causing stress and frustration? What does your intuition tell you? Once you've answered these questions, it's essential to analyze your responses for patterns, identify your boundaries, and decide whether open communication with the other person is appropriate. It's important to prioritize self-care if the relationship is causing stress. Establishing clear boundaries and defining your expectations can be valuable when subjected to breadcrumbing. In addition, it may help to speak to a therapist who could provide emotional support and valuable insights. So why do people breadcrumb? Well, according to an article in brides.com, Dr. Kelly Campbell says that people typically engage in breadcrumbing because their self-esteem is impacted by how much attention they could secure from others. The more interest from others they maintain, the better they feel about themselves. What's more, These are often people who need continuous validation as they don't feel comfortable or confident unless they get constant reassurance from others that they are worthy or valuable. Breadcrumbing can put you on an emotional roller coaster, and recognizing it is the first step towards addressing the issue. Now, sometimes people can breadcrumb others without being consciously aware of their actions. It may be unintentional, stemming from a lack of communication, mixed signals, or personal issues. It's essential to recognize that not all cases of breadcrumbing are deliberate, but the impact on the person being breadcrumbed could still be significant. Whatever the reason, deliberate or not, by being aware of the signs and setting boundaries, you can decide whether it's best to hold on or move on from a relationship that no longer serves you, remembering that healthy relationships are built on mutual respect and support, not through empty promises and sporadic attention. Remember, it's important to practice self-care for your own well-being. So, here's my question. At times in your life, have you been the victim of breadcrumbing, or have you breadcrumbed someone else? Something to think about, right? Thanks for coming today. Have a good one, and I will see you next time.